Hey everyone, and welcome back to Light Shine Desserts, where you can get your daily dose of baking, the Word of God, decorating, and much more. And Happy New Year if you made it here. Well, obviously, if you're seeing this video. But today, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be doing some New Year's cupcakes, New Year's treats to give out to our New Year's party that we're doing. We usually do it on the day of New Year's, so I'm making these the day before because I want to give some to my neighbors that I wasn't able to give them anything on Christmas because 3 of them weren't there. So I decided, maybe I should give out some of the cupcakes that I wanted to make for the party. And yeah, I did do that. But currently right now, I'm making some vanilla cupcakes, not really doing anything much to that, just keeping it just plain, straightforward. I'm making 3 different flavors. So I wanted to do vanilla as I'm doing right here. I wanted to do a s'mores cupcake, and I wanted to do red velvet just because I kind of see like red velvet, red for the holiday. Vanilla, you can kind of do different things with that, and then chocolate just because, you might want that dark chocolate flavor. So I also wanted to try something new. I wanted to try an Italian meringue buttercream because I've seen some people do it, like Ashley from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop. That's her like go-to buttercream. I've watched one of her videos of her making it on a live, and she states that it is like more of a buttery type of frosting. So it really depends on who's eating it, but it's not as sweet as other ones. And I wanted to put it on the s'mores cupcake just because like it's supposed to kind of be like a marshmallowy type of frosting, and some recipes that I saw, they weren't exactly like a meringue buttercream, but like they were like a meringue without like any butter in it. So it was generally the same thing. And I also wanted to have that on the vanilla one just because, it would save me some time instead of making 3 different buttercreams. But right now we are doing the red velvet, so it doesn't take too long. You do have to like whip it by hand or fold it in by hand. And with the vanilla one, I don't have to do that. I just did it just to do it, just so that I can make sure it stays moist. I think I kind of overmixed some of them just a bit just because it's always hard to tell like how many like lumps are there, and like do you want a lot of lumps still, or do you want at least like a couple lumps? Because if you overmix it, it can turn out dense, but if you don't mix it enough, there could be like small little pockets of like flour or salt just when you're eating the cupcake or when it's rising itself. So when mixing it, it did seem red, but I wanted it to be a little bit more red just because it kind of seemed like a more muted type of red. But right now I'm moving on to the chocolate or the s'mores. So basically I wanted to do a graham cracker crust, my typical chocolate cupcake, and then the Italian meringue on top, and then like have some sort of like s'mores topper. So when you're eating it, you should kind of get that s'mores feeling, or at least like something related to that. And here it was kind of messy because it was really liquidy type of batter. But when putting this in, as you can see, there's the graham cracker crust. You have to then put the chocolate cake batter on top, and it doesn't actually do like the typical amount of chocolate cake batter. So when it like bakes, there's like half graham cracker and kind of like a small amount of chocolate, as you can maybe see that they didn't rise up all the way to the top. The red velvet ones, they did kind of sink a little, probably because I overmixed it, or it could have been just because I maybe overbaked it too, but I feel like it was the overmixing because I did like kind of go back and mix it. But for the vanilla, they're typically like flat, and it actually doesn't make 12. It's supposed to make 11, but I try to make sure that there's 12 so when I'm selling it, and so it does turn out to be more flat than bumpy, but it's all good, still tastes the same. So I wanted to do the Italian meringue on here, the vanilla ones, as I told you before. But when my sister was trying it, when I was trying it, the Italian meringue, it didn't really like taste as like good as I would want it to. With the chocolate or with the s'mores, it does work because, again, like the chocolate is more like a super moist type of thing, and the vanilla is more like a firmer but still like soft cupcake, if you know the difference between like vanilla and chocolate cake when like feeling it and even sometimes eating it. So I just quickly made a little bit of American buttercream. I didn't like that though because I used 4 sticks of butter for this Italian meringue because I was going to use it on both of them. Thankfully it did generally like, I did use up most of it, but like it was just like no, because I could have just used 2 sticks because again it would have at least frosted like around 12 of them at least, and I did have like around 12-14 chocolate cupcakes, and it still would have been fine, and I could have used that other 2 sticks for the vanilla, but it's okay. And so here I have the cream cheese for the red velvet, typical cream cheese. When I was making it, I think I had a little bit too much sugar because it didn't taste as tangy as before, and I don't really like cream cheese frosting. So I did add cream cheese in it like a little bit more on the day of the party. When I was giving it to my neighbors though, I didn't actually do that because like it still tasted fine, but like when I was tasting it later on New Year's Day, I was like, you know, this is not as tangy. And it kind of like firms up like crust like American buttercream, so I feel like I did add too much sugar this time, so I will just probably cut down back to like a half or a fourth, and then I'll taste it, see if it's not sweet enough, and yeah. So I'm just adding some white pearls onto the vanilla ones, and I did a different design with here. I use like the small 4B tip, or I don't know what it's called, but like the smaller opened spiked tip with this one. And then when I was giving it to my neighbors, I did the 1M tip, the same thing like I did for the s'mores one over there, but a different design, kind of like a rose. And so right now I'm adding on some chocolate drizzle just to give it some more s'mores type thing. I did want to add some marshmallows, but I didn't have any mini ones, and the idea that I wanted to do didn't really work out, so I'm just going to add the drizzle onto all of them. As you can see, like the frosting isn't as like peaked up on the some of them have like that nice peak, but some of them aren't as peaky. But I just added a small little graham cracker onto the side diagonally on all of them, and again I wanted to add like a marshmallow somewhere, so I did try to add that on top of one of them just to like see what it would be like, but it didn't really work out, as you can kind of see here. Overall, they did taste fine. Again, I'm not gonna do any Italian meringue anymore. I'm just gonna stick with the American buttercream because I already didn't really like the Swiss meringue either. This is what the ones I gave to my neighbors look like, and this is the one for the New Year's Day. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions, tips, or things you want me to bake in the future, feel free to comment down below, and have a blessed week. Happy New Year. Bye.